This is the Making Noise podcast.
One thing I was curious about, though, is you talk a lot about imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain that a little bit? I know we have a little bit of time left, not too much, but I wonder if people even know what imposter syndrome might be. And I feel like,
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, imposter syndrome is sort of that feeling that there's a lot of layers to it, but it's sort of like that feeling like of not being good enough. Like if you have an idea, you kind of say, oh, well, actually, I'm not you talk yourself out of it. Like, I'm not good enough to do this, or actually maybe I'm not qualified to do this. And it's like that feeling of, or if you're putting yourself out there and you put a project out there, you can say, oh my God, who do I think I am to launch this project or put out this album? That self-doubt. So it's really centered around the self-doubt and second guessing. Putting ourselves out there. And it's something that, I'm really open about it. I think it's something that we all experience, myself included. And I think one thing that I really love to talk about is sort of normalizing the conversation around it. And because I think the first thing sometimes people can think is if they have those self-doubting thoughts of like, oh wait, I'm actually not good enough, I shouldn't do this. They think means it's a bad idea. Oh, you're right, I shouldn't do this, I'm not good enough, or I'm not qualified enough, or I'm not ready yet, and so they take that as a sign of, oh right, I shouldn't, and they either scrap the idea or don't move forward, or right. But we all have these thoughts, every single one of us, myself included, as I said. And I think that I think that's the first thing that we have to recognize. And when we're getting out of our comfort zone, when we're doing something new for the first time, or we're growing in a way, or we're putting ourselves out there like a step further than before, or whatever it is, we're getting out of our comfort zone, right? Like that's going to be uncomfortable. Like if we're doing something new, like is it possible to be a master at something you've never done before? No, right? So, and so I say that like, if we're putting ourselves out there, we have to expect these thoughts, like they will come. And that's like the first piece, because if we are like, oh, I hope they don't come, it's sort of like we're going to be caught off guard, or it's going to spin us out. It could spin you out, more than saying, all right, it's not about trying to make the thoughts go away. It's about what do we do with them? How can we say, all right, yep, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. This is what happens. This is what happens no matter where you are in your career, what level, what stage. So it's really about how do we quiet the voices instead of try to make them go away.